So if you think high intelligence protects you from making terrible decisions, you have actually already lost the game.
Yeah, it is totally counterintuitive.
Right, because data shows that being smart, like genuinely highly intelligent, actually makes you more prone to a very specific, disastrous kind of failure.
And today we are going to show you how that exact mental flaw almost caused Steve Jobs to kill the iPhone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we will get into the specific psychological trick his team used to save it, which is fascinating.
I'm so excited for that part. So today we are taking a deep dive into Adam Grant's research on rethinking. Basically, we are synthesizing the science to show you how to outsmart your own stubbornness.
Which is something we all need.
Absolutely. It is all about understanding why we get so rigidly attached to our own ideas and, how to actually break free from that trap.
Well, it really starts with our biological survival wiring. There's this incredible neuroscience research by Jonas Kaplan.
Okay, what did he find?
So he put people in MRI machines and challenged their core beliefs. And he found that two specific brain regions just light up immediately. The amygdala, which processes fear,
Right.
and the insula, which governs disgust.
Okay, wait, let me rephrase that because this part actually shocked me.
Yeah.
My brain reacts to a different opinion the exact same way it reacts to swallowing sour milk.
Literally, yes. It is the exact same biological response as if you just encountered a physical threat, like a predator or eating rotten food.
But doesn't that mean we are just biologically wired to fail at this?
It means we are wired to protect ourselves at all costs.
Wow.
Yeah, so when that biological threat response kicks in, we usually default to one of three defensive modes.
Okay.
First, we become the preacher, constantly defending our sacred ideals, telling everyone else why we are right.
Well, yeah, I definitely do that.
We all do.
Yeah.
Or we become the prosecutor.
Which is what?
That is when you are just relentlessly attacking the flaws in everyone else's arguments. You are just poking holes in whatever they say.
Right, trying to win the case.
Exactly. And the third is the politician. That is when you are just people-pleasing, campaigning for approval, just trying to fit in with the tribe.
So none of those are actually about finding the truth.
No, not at all. To survive a changing environment, you have to actively force your brain out of those three and into a fourth mode, which is the scientist.
The scientist. Okay, how does that work?
A scientist treats opinions as testable hypotheses. You don't start with the answer. You just follow the data.
To see how lethal that prosecutor mode is in the real world, you really just have to look at Mike Lazaridis and BlackBerry.
Oh, that is a perfect example.
Right. I mean, he didn't just miss the touchscreen trend.
No.
His whole identity was tied up in physical keyboards.
Yeah, he couldn't let it go.
Exactly. He acted like a prosecutor and just attacked the idea of a glass screen right out of existence.
Which is crazy in hindsight.
Total disaster. But, Steve Jobs had a really similar stubborn streak with the iPhone.
Oh, definitely. He publicly vowed to never make a phone. He hated the idea.
Right. But his team knew they
Right.
couldn't just preach at him.
No, that would have triggered his amygdala immediately.
Exactly. So they used scientist mode to bypass his biological defense system. They didn't pitch a phone to him.
Right.
They showed him prototypes
Yeah.
and basically framed it as a better pocket computer. They just let the data in that specific framing change his mind.
So they essentially Trojan horsed the smartphone past his amygdala just by dressing it up as a computer.
He hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Because his identity was deeply rooted in being a computer pioneer. He wasn't a telecom executive.
Right.
So presenting it that way didn't trigger his threat response.
That is so smart. And, this danger of tying your identity to your ideas, it goes way beyond just corporate market share or launching a product.
Oh, for sure.
In extreme cases, it is literal life or death. Take the tragic 1949 Man Gulch fire.
Oh, this story is intense.
It really is. A team of elite smoke jumpers got trapped by a massive, really fast-moving blaze in a canyon.
Just terrifying.
Yeah. And the foreman, Wagner Dodge, survived because he did the unthinkable. First, he burned the grass around him to create a safe zone.
Which goes against everything they are taught, probably.
Exactly. And crucially, he dropped his heavy firefighting equipment so he could move faster.
Wow. But the rest of the crew didn't do that, right?
No, they didn't. 12 firefighters died because they kept running with their heavy tools.
That is just heartbreaking because for them, dropping their gear meant abandoning their identity as firefighters.
Yes.
In a literal life or death moment, they just couldn't separate who they were from what they were holding.
It is tragic. And this is exactly where the Dunning-Kruger effect traps so many smart people.
Right, that cognitive bias.
Yeah, it is the bias where those who know the least are often the most fiercely confident simply because they lack the knowledge to recognize their own ignorance.
And smart people use their intelligence to just rationalize holding onto their tools.
Exactly. The antidote to that bias and to the amygdala's threat response is something called confident humility.
Confident humility, I like that phrase.
Yeah, true wisdom isn't about knowing everything. It is having complete confidence in your ability to learn while remaining intensely humble about what you currently know.
So it allows you to separate your ego from your current tool set.
Precisely. You can drop the tools without losing yourself.
So here is your next step. We want you to do a life checkup today. Just pick one long-held goal or a grudge or a core belief.
Just one is a great start.
Right. And ask yourself, what specific evidence would it take for me to change my mind about this?
That is a really uncomfortable question.
It is really tough. But if your answer is nothing, well, you are not being smart. You are just holding on to heavy tools while the fire gets closer.
Think about it. If you haven't completely changed your mind about something deeply important in the last year, are you actually growing?
Or are you just blindly defending your past self?
Exactly.
Don't let your own intelligence become the trap that keeps you in the flames. Drop the tools.